Hi, sorry about that again. So, a pleasant evening to everyone. Hello to our Facebook and YouTube viewers. Welcome to StackLeague X Abakada Studios Career Session Ideating the Digital Classroom using Gamification. I am KZ and I will be your host for tonight's event. I would like to remind everyone if you have any questions about the session, you can type in the comment section. We will address them later at the Q&A session. Also, to help the Stack League team improve the session for you, answer this question form after the live session. Here is the link bit.ly/StackLeague sessions feedback, or you can scan the QR code flashed on your screen. Before we dive into tonight's session, we would like to give you an overview of Stack League. Now, in its second competitive year, StackLeague wouldn't be possible without the support of our partners. We are fortunate to be supported by the top companies in the industry. We have platinum sponsors, Packetworks, silver sponsors, Coding Chiefs, and bronze sponsors, Microsoft, Dell Tech Systems, Upper.ph, Recruit Day, Gcash, Likha IT, and Manulife. To our media partners, Spark Up, Apps Gadget, What's Up Filipinas, Corner Magazine PH, Androidist, Megabytes, Backend News, Bluewing, and Manila Republic. The same goes for our community partners who help the league reach as many programmers in the country as possible. And here they are, as you can see on our screen. Also, congratulations to Mark Genesima More for being the Stack League ambassador for the month of July, winning the 3,000 cash prize and a Stack League t-shirt. If you want to be the next Stack League ambassador and win the cash prize and t-shirt, the program is now open for the month of August. You can find the full mechanics at our website, bit.ly/StackLeagueAmbassador 2022. And now, to know more about the Stack League overview, here is Haifa Karina from Stack League. Take it away, Haifa.
Hello everyone, my name is Haifa and I will be giving you an overview of what Stack League is all about. Stack League is the Philippines' largest online programming league. The mission is to develop programming leaders that inspire a nation into coding. The tournament is powered by StackTrick's fully automated talent, analytics, and assessment platforms. Now, what are the highlights of the league? The Pioneering Programming League was launched last March 16, 2021, and is now gathering over 15,000 tech talents across the country to test their leadership, perseverance, and coding skills with a promise of nationwide media recognition, lots of prizes, thousands of tech job opportunities, and access to invitation-only events. The league's year-round cash prize pool is now at 10 million pesos in the duration of the whole competition. That is for 2022. And one of the highlights in the Stack League is the weekly stack race, which is both for individual and teams. Each week, the top 10 challengers and the top 3 teams are announced all across Stack League's social media platform to recognize the challengers who stayed on top of their rankings. Apart from this, we also have the Stack League featured programmer and team campaign. The weekly top 10 challengers and top 3 teams are going to be featured on Stack League's website and on our social media channels. Now, Stack League will also be hosting numerous tech and career sessions all throughout the year. Aside from this, there are also exclusive trainings available for ranking to the next challenger levels. And these events and trainings are all for free. So if you are interested in different industry trends, technologies, best practices, as a challenger in Stack League, you will have access to all of these learning sessions. Now, what's next? We also have the Stack League Ambassador Program, and it is a year-round initiative to reward Stack League challengers who go beyond the competition and inspire the nation into coding. To tell you more about the Stack League Ambassador, here is a short clip for you to watch. All right, and that's for the Stack League Ambassador, wherein you will get, if you become the Ambassador of the Month, you will be receiving 3,000 pesos. And if you become the Ambassador of the Year, you will be receiving 20,000 pesos. And there are multiple ways for you to become a Stack League Ambassador. One is to really refer as many developers or interested developers to take on the challenges at StackLeague. That's one. And then the other one is to post blogs or features using your own websites or other blogging platforms. That way you also get ambassador points. And now for the supported programming languages in the league, we have JavaScript, Java, Python, C Sharp, and PHP. Now how the ranking system goes. So after signing up, you will start at the bottom with 0 points. All you need to do is solve as many challenges as you can and earn the corresponding points. So the more points you earn, the higher your ranking goes. Once you have accumulated enough points, you can now get to the next level. You got to the next level where most opportunities are unlocked for you. So there are 3 challenger levels. We have bronze, silver, and gold levels. Now, the new thing that this year, 2022, is that the challenger level up now has prizes. So if you will able to unlock bronze level, you will be receiving, oh, here you go. You will be receiving 100 pesos. So that's 100 pesos as soon as you level up to bronze. Then as you level up to silver, you will be receiving another 100 pesos. And when you reach gold, you will be receiving and rewarded with 300 pesos. So overall, you will be receiving a total of 500 pesos as you level up from unranked, bronze, silver, and then gold. Okay? So now if you become part of the one of the 10 challengers to win this week. So on a weekly basis, we have rewards for the top 10. So there is also the Stack League Treasure Chest. That is what we call the initiative, wherein the weekly top 10 challengers will receive 500 pesos cash prize. What else? So there are a lot of things happening in Stack League, but this is also one of the highlights of Stack League for the year. We have what we call the Stack League Playoffs. So what is a playoffs? It is a single elimination tournament featuring all monthly qualifiers where all weekly top 10 Stack League challengers will automatically be invited to the monthly qualifier rounds, and you can read the mechanics at Stack League Playoffs 2022 to know 2022. And to know more, here is another clip for you to watch. Okay. All right. So as you can see here, we have the monthly qualifiers happening every month. And that happens, the playoffs monthly qualifiers happens every fourth Saturday of the month. So that's every from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So every month we are giving away for the top one. The top one winner will be receiving 5,000 pesos, and the top two will be receiving 3,000 pesos. Now, if you are interested in the schedule for the upcoming months, these are the schedules that we have. You can see them on your screen. Now, all of these players at the end of the year, by December, there will be a single elimination, as you can see the chart here, and the best players in the league will be crowned here through the playoffs. Now, for our new players here, if you cannot make it in the top 10 and you are still trying out, then that's the Stack League Lightning Series is the event especially made for you. So every level you have your own rank. So we have unranked, bronze, and silver challengers, and we do this one on a monthly basis as well. So for the unranked category, if you are still new here, we have an opportunity for you. It happens every second Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. So that's where all unranked categories could experience a 1 hour programming competition and also get prizes. On the third Tuesday, we have the bronze category. So many of the unranked challengers get to level up and then they can now join the bronze level category. So the prizes here would be the top two will be receiving 1,200 pesos plus a limited edition Stack League shirt. Now, for the fourth Tuesday of the month is when we do the silver category. So as you try to level up, there are more chances for you and there are bigger prizes waiting for you. So for the silver category, the prizes here would be 1,500 pesos plus Stack League shirt plus Microsoft jackets. And with that one, I give you the overview of Stack League. Now, let's go back and welcome back our host.
Thank you so much, Haifa, for giving us a short introduction of StackLeague. So let's not delay any further. Our resource speaker tonight is a fourth gen family member presently leading Philippine College of Criminology, established 1954 by her great grandfather, Justice of the Supreme Court, Felix Angelo Bautista. Her passion is about edutech. She founded an edutech company, Abakada Studios, which is a culmination of her experiences in both education and IT. She also worked in enterprise sales for various IT companies to include Fujitsu Philippines, Red Hat SG, and Konica Minolta USA. Aside from IT, she has worked in different business verticals such as the academy, HR, and finance. Before joining the corporate world, she was also a professional musician and lead singer of the all-girl band called Prettier Than Pink. She is the singer and songwriter of Cool Kalang, which was released in 1997. These days, her focus is creating innovative synergies for education, gamification, and alternative learning solutions to include the metaverse and NFTs. Let us all give a warm welcome to the Chief Executive Officers of Abacada Studios, Lei Bautista.
Hello and good evening. Haifa, thank you so much for that great introduction for tonight. No, ang daming ginawa, no, ang daming racket. But that's how we stay relevant these days. Is we have to have a lot of things on our plate. And first of all, thanks to Stack League for inviting me tonight. And looks like you have a lot of things rolling for you, right? So ayun, no? So thank you so much for inviting me. All right, so let's go first to the introduction. Of course, Haifa already kind of introduced me, but I still want to give a little bit of information about me. So as Haifa said, right now, I'm actually the president of Philippine College of Criminology, and this is family run business, no? So as I was growing up, I did not really expect myself to be the president at my very young age. Um, that I would be already a president of a school. So the school actually has been, it was founded by my great grandfather, Felix Angelo Bautista, and it's been existing for 68 years, and we're the pioneer school for criminology now. So that is what I that's where the love for education comes from. And I was also fortunate and blessed to be in the IT industry, both here and in the US. So I'm a dual citizen actually. I've worked and lived in the US for around 12 years, and right now I find myself here in the Philippines, and doing what I can to contribute to nation building, right, through education, and also my love for technology. No, so I was also given the the privilege to be part of the IT industry. As Haifa said, working in Red Hat. So I was the first country sales representative here in the Philippines for Red Hat. No, so um, I reported to Singapore at the time, and then I also was able to work for SAP through Fujitsu Enterprise Solutions, and I also did document management solutions in Konica Minolta, USA. So I have been around. And so for now, I'm here in the Philippines. And in fact, I've co founded two startups. One is a game development company called Tactile Studios, and this is run by my husband, James Law, who coincidentally is also the president of the Game Developers Association of the Philippines. And right now, although he's the one that's running our game studio, which is called Tactile Studios, and I am the one that's running our EduTech studio called Abakada Studios. And our objective is that we help organizations both in the corporate setting and in the academe to successfully transition from traditional methodologies to modern technology enabled learning using creative technology. And all of these technologies and strategies are designed and engineered, no? So they're very deliberate, well thought of, and researched. And so my love for education and technology is how Abacada Studios was born. And fortunately, right now, no, being that we're a company under 2 years, we have a healthy pipeline and around 50 to 60 um, employees, no, or team members that are all contributing to nation building. And so for my topic today, which is how we could transition or how we could run a digital classroom using gamification, I'd like to start first with the challenges first. No, we have to frame first what we're up against, and this is the challenges that we are facing today in learning. Of course, we know that we are in the millennial or zennial already, no, generation. I myself am a proud Gen Xer, right? I come from the Generation X. We are the last generation that knows what analog is, right? Knows what library Dewey Decimal System is. We're the generation that grew up with the Walkman and the CD players, right? And so we're the last analog generation, but we're also the generation that transitioned into the digital world. And so the benefits or the advantage of being a Gen Xer is that you have the best of both worlds. You understand the analog, the um, organic generation, and we also understand the digital generation. And so in today's world, what challenges are we facing? Especially now that we're in a world of digitization, the internet, of information being available to you anytime, anywhere. This brought about the internet generation, which is the millennials and then also the Gen Z, right? And so most of the challenges that we have right now in learning is number one, the retention of information, right? So our learners these days and our young kids have a very short attention span. And so we need to find ways of how we can engage them and keep their attention and that keep their focus, right? Gone are the days that we want to deliver information or we want to share information with text heavy content. So content that's mostly text, mostly paragraph sentences are already very boring to today's children, students, and the emerging society as well, right? Their interests of the people right now go down very dramatically, right? It's very hard to keep someone focused on something for a very long time. They also don't like redundant information or a boring way of delivering content. You will lose your audience already if you are lecturing and talking for over 30 minutes, just like what I'm doing today. So I'm going to try to keep my topic short and sweet so that I also don't bore you, right? And in the Philippines, we still have a lot of businesses, companies, and also more traditionally in the education sector that are very manual still in their processes, right? And the lack of using the imagination as well. And because of all these more traditional and more um, familiar ways, no, of how we do learning, it now becomes a challenge because this is not how millennials, Xenials, and Gen Z, this is not how their mind works, right? And we have to first realize this so that we know now how to design curriculum or pedagogy so that we could make sure that it is fun and engaging for our new students, our students that are from the millennial and the zennial age. So I'd like first to talk about what our students are like today, right? So I would like to make this a interactive activity, right, for all of you that are out there right now. If you could go to menti.com, and this is the code that you need to enter when you access menti.com: 3187-7626. And the question that we have, okay, I hope that you're now inputting that, is what are students like today? Okay, what is the characteristics or what what unique um, values make our current students millennials or Gen Zers, right? So I'll wait now for people to go to menti.com, and then let's go back to the code and just leave it there first. Our code is 318-77626. And I'll give you a few minutes to um, comment and help us frame what our students are like right now, right? And while we're doing that, I'm going to give you a few minutes to answer that. I'm gonna shout out to the people that have commented, no, on the Facebook Live. So let's see. We have Marvin Villalon from Camarines Norte State College. Thank you for joining us. We also have Darren Rawat from Camarines Norte State College. And good evening to JR Lausin for joining us. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I hope that I'll be able to give you a different perspective, no, on how you could deliver learning in a more effective and fun way through gamification. All right, so thank you so much for those that have participated in menti.com. This is great. Look, we have Tech Savvy. That's a very, very strong comment. Also, gamers. Very good. Techie. I'm seeing a lot of that. Visual learners. Crave for attention. Distractions. Competitive. Resourceful. Slacker. Curious. Always on the go. Multitaskers. They like to explore. Cunning. Um, Confident, creative. What is this? ADHD-ish. Yes, correct. Innovative, soft-hearted. Yes. Team player, that's good. And have short attention spans. Great. No, these are all great comments. Impatient. Let's see what else. Online. Lazy. Curious. Innovative, cunning, okay, slacker. I think all generations have that kind, no? So yeah, great. This is great. Thank you so much for participating in our menti.com, no? So actually, this tool, no, part of gamification as well is using tools for to aid you in learning. And there's so many tools now that are out there. Now you can just Google them. But yes, I wanted to ask you guys on what you thought, the characteristics or the behaviors right now of the generation today of students, and you really nailed it, right? And it's because as we design, no, as we design learning, and as we design learning plans, as we design how we're going to deliver our curriculum to these students who are tech savvy, at short attention spans and things like that. These are actually characteristics that describe the millennials and the Gen Zers, right? And what is our what are our millennials and Gen Zers like? So just to reinforce what everyone has been saying, right? So you hit it on the dot that they are technologically savvy. In fact, they're connected almost 24/7 with their devices, right? They go to sleep, they wake up, the phone is there, and the first thing they do is go online, go to Facebook, check who's online, check their wall, right? Then aside from being tech savvy, there was on menti.com, there was someone that commented that today's students are soft-hearted, right? And so this could be, we were both aligned with that observation that a lot of our students right now, suffer from mental health and family issues and coping with those challenges, right? So I'm a Gen Xer. I remember growing up, and if you fall down or you have conflict with your classmates, you just need to deal with it, right? You have no choice but to get up, toughen up. And I remember I was always told to just deal with it. But these days, most of the students are very, as you said, soft-hearted, and we need to be careful now the way that the words that we choose to talk to them are very different. Sorry about that. Already from the generation before, right? And they are so used now to talking to their peers, classmates, friends, right? They're used to networking online. They have groups, Viber, Messenger, Twitter, Instagram, all of these um, that that make them group them, no? That they learn how to make decisions uh, with their groups online. And of course, they're expert multitaskers because of the different windows that they have open or different gadgets that they have. And with this, it also makes for them having very short attention spans, as you have mentioned in menti.com. But at the same token, they're very, information is already at the tip of their hands, no? So they're very skilled also in researching online, right? So they know if information applies to them or not. They're expert information consumers because of all the information that's readily available online. They crave to be in communities because online is always about joining a community and being part of a group. And because of gadgets like cell phones and tablets, smartphones, and the computer, they're used to being always on the go, right? Always moving from one thing to another. They're mobile, they're agile, they have access anytime, anywhere. And because of all of these things, easily distracted, very short attention spans, and they jump from one thing to another, right? And so the first thing that we need to accept and realize, depending on uh, what generation we belong to, is that right now educators and learners are always constantly connected through social media, right? Wherever they are and whenever they want to connect. And so this is now where the concept of social learning has evolved and has emerged. So of course we are very familiar with what e-learning is, which is it is the use of electronic media and IT in education, right? We have so many platforms available online. so that teaching can be delivered anytime, anywhere. But there is a higher level of interaction and learning pedagogy that has emerged, no, because of social media. It is a collaborative and interactive way of teaching, which I think our teachers today need to learn, right? Because the role of the teacher really changes already because social media is here and that the internet is here. It is now the role of the teacher not to just be the only source of information. The teacher's role now shifts to being the facilitator of learning, because everyone now, all students of all ages, as long as they're holding a gadget and they're connected to the internet, and in a way, for me, as a parent myself, I see children as young as 3 years old, right? The parents give them their gadgets so that it can distract them, right, and keep them entertained. Um, Kids as young as 3 years old already have access to the internet, already have access to technology. And so they're the first generation that do not anymore know a world without internet. And this is the game changer here, no? Because they have already their own access, they are independent, and they already have their own um, access and tools to get information at the tip of their fingers as early as the age of 3 years old. And that's why the teacher needs to recognize this first, that we need to change our teaching pedagogies and our teaching methodologies. First of all, a teacher now needs to be an initiator of a conversation, right? Because that's how conversations are started online, through a post, a video, a photo, a file upload, which demonstrates a person that the teacher now has to initiate conversation using online tools. So, for example, next next slide, please. Instead of the teacher teaching or giving information to the students or lecturing them, let's say on Jose Rizal, or the history of Jose Rizal, the history of Bonifacio, you can now make, you know, you can now turn the attention to the student by asking them a controversial or an interesting question as this, no? Who should be our national hero? Should it be Jose Rizal or Andres Bonifacio? Right? So if I were the teacher, and instead of just lecturing or just the information coming from me, this is now how I would change the the positioning or the approach, no, on how to get the information, right? And this is to throw it back to the students, because remember, they're already so used to being opinionated online, right? And giving their comments, whether it's right or wrong. Um, there's a sense now of students being more, you know, self-centric, right? When they have an opinion of the world, like everyone thinks just because they have an opinion that it's the right opinion. And so this is a way where you can get them to engage and get them to be more interested in the topic, is make them talk, right? Make them bring out the arguments, make them do the research. Anyway, everything is available already online, right? And this makes the job of the teacher easier because you are letting the students do more of the research and more of the talking. In turn, the students love talking about themselves and about their opinions. So this is a way to make it more interesting and in a way gamified as well, no, is to make it more fun and engaging for the student. So how can you, what tools, right? What tools are available there so that you could get your students to engage, no? How can you engage them more? So you can use forums, right? You can use some comments and posting. Like for example, you can post this picture that I have here and post a compelling question, right? You can ask your students to give in their video responses, their video comments. They love taking videos of themselves, right? You can ask them to upload it in YouTube and share it with the class or upload them in other video capturing platforms like Vimeo, right? And the most popular these days, and students love this, is to use TikTok, right? And so in our school, PCCR, we are already employing these type of strategies, right, to gamify and to make things more exciting and fun. In fact, I have a saying in PCCR where I remind our teachers that quote unquote bawal ang boring, right? And in fact, it's already part of our KPIs and KRAs for teachers to not be boring in class. And I have encouraged them to use all these social media tools so that we could keep up with the new generation. So, this is what they love doing now, no? And you could also ask your students to reflect, no? To give reflection papers. They love giving their opinion. They love giving their feedback, right? And so now it becomes more of a collaboration with your students. And this also allows them to be more confident in expressing themselves, right? Because the kids these days, they think that they're experts in everything and anything because everything you could find on YouTube, you could find on Google. But what you could do is you frame it so that they are sharing and expressing their own experience, right? And they also love sharing this online. And so you could encourage sharing of this information on a personal level to their classmates, to doing collaborative and group work, right? This way, each student not only shares their own thoughts, but they are also contributing to the experience of everyone in the group or in everyone in the classroom. And there's an opportunity also for them to be mentors. And so that is the eye opener of how we're going to understand millennials and the Gen Z generation. Now, in terms of understanding gamification, the truth of the matter is gamification is really a fancy word, or it's already the millennial word for motivation, right? So there's so many thousands and millions of ways to motivate people. But the language of millennials and Gen Zers these days is really about gamification. Please go to the former slide first. Um, And so part of gamification strategies is to understand that this day and age right now, people respond and retain more information if the experience to them is amazing, right? So, as educators and as creators, we need to figure out and find out how we could deliver amazing experience. Number one, how to engage users, right? Because then, if we engage them and make it fun and exciting, then you have a higher rate of information retention, which will then lead to increased learning. Because at the end of the day, you cannot also leave this type of approach just to the wind, right? Or to just a to a random um, learning experience. These need to be designed and engineered. And how do we design and engineer this? Well, first of all, we need to understand that there is a science and there is a method, no, a methodology to applying gaming principles in learning. You can also just Google this, right? I don't have all the time in the world with you. I have a very limited time. But you could just go ahead and um, Google octalysis model, right? So I'm sure all of some of you, if not most of you that are listening in my talk today are one way or the other gamers, right? If you could be like a casual gamer like me, I'm a casual gamer, to a mid-core to like a hardcore gamer, right? Where you spend most of your life in the gaming world. But even if you're just playing solitaire, Candy Crush, word games, those are all games that have been designed for you to come back and play and play and play again. And um, developing a game is not just about having a great idea and saying, oh, I'm going to create a game, right? There is a methodology to it. And so game developers have employed these 8 principles of octalysis in designing based on human behavior. And that is what we can now extract and also apply in education and in the academe. So the sense of accomplishment, right? Where you're finishing something or you created something and then you have something to show for, right? Makes people drawn more towards the task because they feel, wow, I made this myself. I I want to show it to the world because I finished something and I accomplished something. Then the the unpredictability also makes something exciting, right? When you don't know what's gonna happen, what's under that question mark, right? What's gonna happen if I jump? What's gonna happen if I move on to the next level, right? And most games also make you have a higher meaning to what you're doing, right? Oh, it's a quest. Oh, I have to finish something. Oh, if I accomplish this or I defeat the dragon, I'm going to get the princess, right? And so also the sense of empowerment, and then you have to avoid things, like fire being thrown at you or um, making you jump towards safety, and then your ownership as well because you have your own avatar, you have your own character that you design, you upgrade, you have to earn coins, points to enhance, or upgrade your your avatar. And then you can share also your accomplishments, and people can watch your game, right? And you could also interact within the game. And so all of this is part of like the type of social influence that you can have. And then lastly, scarcity, which is the lack of, right? Like, oh, my coins are running out, I have to play more. Or, oh, I can't go to the next level because I lack diamonds, so you have to buy diamonds, right? And so all of these behaviors or human conditions are the the principles that game designers incorporate into their games, and this is why we get addicted to them, right? And so we can turn the tide around, where before gaming, playing games, gamification was more frowned upon. In this generation, we have to change our view of how we see or we view gaming, because the millennial and the Gen Z years are mostly gamers, as what one of you or some of you said in our menti.com, right? I saw there gamers. And so with that, um going to our next slide, I'd like to show you some projects that we've actually made that blend learning and gamification. So if everyone goes to Camp Kalikasan, right? So this is camp.kalikasan.com. It was a project that we did with World Wildlife Fund that was funded by Globe Telecoms. And where, if you're familiar with World Wildlife Fund, they advocate the environment, right? And educate young people about carbon footprint, pollution, saving animals, and things like that. And so we partnered with them to deliver a learning management system where you could learn, but at the same time, you play games to learn more about the environment. So here's our video. No sound. Christian, do you want to unmute and play it over? All right, so did we have a technical difficulty with our sound? There you go.
Hi there, nature enthusiasts! This is Sia Vicar, your WWF Youth Ambassador. Sigurado marami po sa inyo ang naiinip sa loob ng bahay at miss na po muling mamasyal para makita at ma-appreciate ang ating kalikasan. Here's a piece of good news for you. Ngayon, pwede na po kayong mag-travel virtually while learning more about Mother Nature at the comfort of your homes. Tayong mga kids ay hindi pa rin ligtas sa banta ng COVID-19 virus. Kaya habang hindi pa po tayo pinapayagang mag-explore outdoor ng IATF, Let's learn and enjoy from home. And I know you'll ask how. So I made sure I got all the details you'll need. Camp Kalikasan is here to rescue us from boredom. This is a product that aims to serve as a go-to resource center where students and teachers can access credible resources to supplement their lessons in the classroom concerning the environment, all for free. Yes, for free. So what are you waiting for? Visit www.campkalikasan.com and register now. To register, click the orange Register Now button from the left side of the page. From the register page, select your role, whether you are a citizen, a student, or a teacher. Then fill in all the other information. Acknowledge the terms and conditions, then click Create an Account. Check your registered email for confirmation. Click the confirmation link to activate your account. Now you are one step closer to being a nature warrior. Don't forget to share Camp Kalikasan to your friends and relatives by sharing this video. See you again, nature warriors!
Yeah, so you can go to Camp Kalikasan, right? And you can it's open to everyone. So you could ask your students and anyone of all ages to go over there and make log in, make your login credentials and enjoy um, a different way of learning, no, through a gamified learning management system. And then also I'd want to show you this other video now. So this other video is something that we developed for Philippine College of Criminology, because of course it's a criminology school and they have to learn concepts of law enforcement, and they need to go through a scene of the crime and be able to report it properly, and do an investigation. And so what we did here is to develop a 3D simulation of the crime scene, which kind of looks like a Counter Strike or any type of first person shooter games that you do that, or that we're familiar with in the gaming industry. And now we've incorporated the same type of gamification principles by delivering something that looks like a Counter Strike game, but the students are really learning real life criminology concepts. So here's one of the platforms. All right. So the application of this type of platform is to engage really, your students in actual 3D virtual reality space, but at the same time they're learning concepts about their classes. So this is also one of the exciting type of applications for gamification. So with that, I would like to put it in, if that's the end of my short talk. I hope that I was able to pick your brains a little bit of how you can apply gamification in your classrooms, right? And of course, you could email us directly, right? Um, First of all, we are, of course, in social media. So, of course, you can go first to our website on abakadastudios.com. You could add us in LinkedIn, Facebook. You can just add us Abakada Learning. And we're also in Instagram, Abakada Studios. If you have any questions or inquiries, you could just send us an email through our inquiries at abacadastudios.com. And with that, I'd like to thank everyone for being with me, and I will now open the floor to some questions.
Yes. By the way, thank you very much, Miss Lei, for that very enlightening and informative presentation. So,
You're welcome.
this is the most exciting part of our session tonight. We are opening the floor for questions from our participants. So, as we can see, there are already three questions. Can we start on the first one from Christian Patron? Is
Sure.
gamification relevant only to learning?
Um, no, of course not. Gamification, you could use gamification. It's a principle, no? It's like a method. So you can apply this to anything and everything. Um, Not just in learning, but not just in gaming itself, right? But you can apply it in anything and everything in life. Um, Even the way that you raise your children, right? You can gamify that at home. So instead of just telling them what to do, maybe you can put their chores, right? You can give them chores and they can have points for the chores that they do. And then you can even give them extra points if they went over and beyond the chore. And then maybe at the end of the week or at the end of the month, the one with, you can make it a contest at home, right? And the one with the most um points the better, gets two prizes instead of one prize, right? And you can just make it fun. And maybe you can have a point system at home, and you can buy them their favorite toys based on the amount of points they accumulated by doing their task at home. Like, let's say, folding their clothes, right? Or making their bed, finishing their vegetables, which kids hate. Kids hate eating, right? So that's it can be used in life, not just in learning.
Okay, thank you so
Yeah.
much for that, Miss Lei. So, somehow gamification is like a strategy, right? That you can apply on your personal life as well. So, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question. Will gamification help students to focus on their studies?
Absolutely. Yes, because that's the old stigma, no? I remember even siguro in our generation or the generations before us, people think that, there was a stigma that if you play too much, then you get punished or grounded, right? But there's so many studies out there that say that playing games actually hones the skills, right? Because you have to think, you have to think of so many things at the same time, and then you have to coordinate with your motor skills, right? And so you actually learn a lot of coordination, hand and body coordination there, and your mind is stimulated. But imagine if we could give and deliver educational games, no, which we have. So let's say the spelling bee or the spelling game isn't boring anymore, right? Where the teacher's just telling you spell, right? Spell procrastination, right? Spell all these words, right? Now if it's a game, then it becomes more exciting. So if the studies or the lessons are infused into games, of course it will absolutely help the students study, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Thanks so much for that, Miss Lay. Um, Also, I think gamification, we can do it as a reward as well, right? That sometimes here nasa bahay namin that my brothers can play if they don't study first, something like that. So I think that's one thing that it could focus their study.
Yes, yeah, and imagine if for studying they had to play.
Yeah,
How much more interest will they have?
yeah,
Haifa, di ba?
yeah,
They'll have more interest if they had to. Did you see the videos that I just played?
yeah,
Imagine those being their exams, right? Na
yeah,
it's a it's a game like Dota, but it's an exam, right? So just imagine how exciting the students will be, and they'll be happy to review, right? And they'll be happy to prepare for the game event.
yeah, that's right. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Third question from Jaira Avendaño. Hi, Miss Lei. From the 8 principles of octalysis, for you po, what is the most important principle to focus on?
I don't think that one is more important than the other, right? I think as you design your game, or as you design your learning plan, if you're using it for learning, is you need to understand first your students. You need to know who your students are, and then when you get to know your students, like you know that, oh, this class, this class is very competitive, then you will put more competition in that type of setting. But then if the the class uh, is the type that gets challenged when they have very little resources, right? Then you could focus on scarcity. So it really depends on the audience that you're targeting. So there's really, I can't say that there's a preference for one over the other.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And next question from Jason Bruno. How do you prevent bullying or smart shaming if the leaderboard is public? I understand that some schools don't publish rankings anymore.
That's such a difficult question. Who is this Jason Bruno? I don't know how to answer this.
Okay.
um, I think it's just a matter of, as an educator, you need to communicate a lot, to your students, and you have to teach them as they play these games. You have to teach them how to respect each other, right? So it's constant reminders to these students that bullying is not okay, right? And even smart shaming is not okay. And so I think it's having constant open communication with the students, because leaderboard, or whether you're using technology or not, the issue of um, this issue of ranking will always come up. So I think it's about keeping communications open and always reminding the students on how to teach each other. Now, if there's like really a constant bullier, or constant bully, most of the time, how they say hurt people, or maybe bullies are bullying because they themselves are getting bullied at home, or some other place. So maybe we need to also pay attention to these students or kids that are bullies, and we need to look into the deeper reason why they themselves are bullies, because they're only acting out as well, no? So we need to pay attention and address it, and help also the bullies.
Thank you so much, Miss Lai, for that wonderful answer. I definitely agree with you
Okay,
on
can't
that.
hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, great. Okay, next question from Marco Pabico. Is the
Daming
use of
questions, ah. This is
yeah,
good.
is the use of gamification in sake of learning considered a positive reinforcement?
Of course, Marco. Yes. Any tool that will encourage our students to stay focused, right? To stay engaged is, of course, positive reinforcement. And you know what? This is the thing, no? We're still in that space where there's a bad stigma on gamification. We have to realize that in the rest of the world, gamification has already surpassed the revenue that Hollywood brings in, right? So maybe 5 or 7 years ago, um, people in the gaming industry have been um, have been profiting and have been making revenues over billions of dollars, and they have surpassed Hollywood. Number two, even the Olympics have already recognized esports, right, as a bona fide sport. I mean, whether you protest or not, we have esports celebrities that are making more these days than celebrities in other sports like Hollywood and things like that, right? And even in Asia, right, like as last year, um, we already entered esports. We have professional esports, Filipino esports players that are already full-time gamers. They already are making careers out of it. You can even take game development as a course already in schools, like the more progressive schools like Benilde, iAcademy, FU, right, are already at the forefront of pushing game development, game design, graphic design, animation, and all of these as courses, right? 4-year courses. You can actually go to school now and become a professional game developer, right? And so, of course, it's already ano, no, it's already an accepted industry. Yeah. So, thank you, Marco, for your question.
Okay, thank you as well, Miss Lay. Next question from Jason Bruno. How do you stop students
Again.
from playing too much?
I don't know. Is there such a thing? Because I grew up a gamer and I allowed actually my children to play, but just as the same as anything else, right? Um, I guess we need to give them a curfew, right, or limits on screen time because um, too much time on the screen also is not good for the eyes, right? What I did with my children is I mixed their activities with online and physical activities, right? And I also did not, I also had a schedule and did not allow them so much playing time, no, maybe on the weekends or if they finish their homework. And then after that, I allowed them some time before bedtime to play. But it's still, of course, controlling and really managing the time of our kids because we can't allow them also to run amok, no? Not just with playing, but with all other aspects. Everything has to be in moderation.
Yes, that's true, Miss Lei. That was a good advice as well to everyone. I think there are as well. We have to as well a listener or viewers that is already a parent, and I'm a sister, so I can I definitely agree with that. Okay, yeah. Next question from Pete Derwin Gumpal. All disruptive applications or implementation undergoes diminishing returns in some point. In your opinion, ma'am, what can be done or how can we address this?
Wow, this is so deep, Pete. All disruptive applications or implementations undergo diminishing returns in some point.
Yeah.
This is economics. In your opinion, ma'am, what can be done or how can we address this? Peter, you just need to always be on your toes and be ready for innovation, right? And be ready to be creative, not to lose the creative creative bone because again in this day and age you're correct, applications, software, and technology right now goes so fast, and so we have no choice but to keep agile, right? We need to just be quick and we need to be relevant all the time. And if you're not keeping up with technology, within a year, you'll be fossilized, right? And you'll be already a dinosaur. So
Yeah.
in the software world, technology world, we need to keep agile and we need to keep always um ready, no, for changes. Because as the saying goes, the only permanence is change, right? So if you um are not up to changes and technology, then maybe the IT industry will not be so kind to you, right? This is not being in applications and software is not for the faint of heart. You have to be always ready to shift, wherever
Mhm.
the wind is blowing. Yeah, thank you, Sir Pete Gumpal, for that.
Yeah. Thank you as well, Miss Lei. And we have next from Manda Cypress or Cypress. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but her question is in relation to the new normal. Do you think Facebook is a great platform to deliver social learning?
Absolutely not. No, it's not. I know it's the most available, and I know that a lot of people use it because it's convenient, but there's pros and cons, and I'm more leading towards the negative because it's not secure, no? I mean, we all clicked on that button where all information and all data that you upload into Facebook is the property of Facebook, right? So Facebook is not a public space. It is solely owned by Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. So there's a risk, no? The data security. You also do not have control over the data there, right? It's so difficult to work with Facebook if you want them to take down a malicious site, right? They don't work with you with that. It's so difficult to do that. So you have no control. Your data is unsecure, right? So you're putting also the people that you're working with at risk. The best really is to have your own platform. There's already many out there. You can also talk to us and we can point you to the right direction in terms of uh, platforms that are safer and more secure than Facebook, right? The data there is you give your free information to Facebook. And we're all guilty of that, right? We're talking right now in
Yeah,
Facebook. We're
that's
on
true.
Facebook Live.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Miss Lei. So another question. Okay, I think we will just gonna entertain three more questions. Is that all right, Miss Lei?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Okay, from Enzo
Daming questions,
Macapil.
huh?
Yeah. From Enzo Macapil. Are there any frameworks or taxonomies that we can use to understand game design in the learning context? Wow.
This is very deep again. Are there any frameworks or taxonomies that we can use to understand game design in the learning
Learning
context?
context.
Um, Out there that's available, I'm not too sure, but we have our own taxonomy, right? You know, you have to marry what's available in online learning, no? So online learning actually has been around for 20 years. It's just that we haven't really adapted to the rest of the world, no, that's already very mature in delivering education online. In fact, in the US, in the UK, distance learning has already been an accepted form of learning pedagogy for around 15 to 20 years. Now, in terms of that's available. All you need to do now is to marry that now with the concepts that I shared today, right? Social learning and then social and also gamification. And with those three, with online learning, social learning, and gamification, you can now come up with a framework. We actually do have that now for us as we design our learning strategies. So Enzo, if you want to learn more about that, send us an email. Inquiries at abacadastudios.com and we'll send you the material that we have.
Wow, thank you for that, Miss Lei. Later on,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna ask you to show us again your contact emails. So, but after
Sure.
I have a question as well. I have a
Sure.
question for you. How is gamification of e-learning different from game-based learning?
Mm. Okay, well, they're very, very, they're very, very similar as well, right? So, game-based learning would be when you design your game, right? Or when you design your learning, is that you have an actual game, right? And then you will infuse that into um you'll infuse your content and your learning into the game, right? So it's based on gaming principles. Um, I guess we could say that they're interchanged, no? You can use them interchangeably. It really just depends on what you're comfortable using as a term. So game-based learning isn't really that different from gamification. It's just that when you say gamification, it's a broader term that you can use towards anything else apart from learning, right? So gamification could be applied anywhere else. But game-based learning is specific to learning and education.
Okay, thanks for that. Let me see. Um, I have one last question. Would that be right? Um,
Sure,
as
go
as we
ahead.
have as I've remember that you have a school. So in these days, if there is, what can you advise to your teacher, or what did you do to your teachers who have a hard time adjusting in technology? Let's say they are not into technology or not techie in our term.
Right. I tell you what I've told my own teachers, no, and I have 250 teachers at the moment.
Mhm.
And I really am investing a lot in training right now. And I tell my teachers that really, no, and it's not me. No, it's not me who's imposing this, but it's really the trend of where globally we are going in terms of education. As you know, the world is already run by technology, right? Especially if you visit more advanced countries like Japan, China, the US, the UK. Most of the first world countries are being run by technology, right? And educators supposedly are supposed to be at the forefront in preparing students to be globally competitive, right? If you go to the US, the organizations that are very advanced in research technology are schools, right? Harvard, um, Berkeley, Stanford, all these all these schools are the ones that bring innovation to their countries. And how will we get there if we are just comfortable and we are stuck in the traditional way of delivering education? And so this is the message that I tell them. The teachers now are going to get fossilized, right? And they will become a thing of the past if we don't innovate and if we don't find ways of delivering more relevant education to our students. And so that's what I would say, I would encourage all our teachers to embrace technology and to embrace innovation so that we could compete, right? And we could give the best that we can to our students. Because this is what will build our nation, right? We're in the business of nation building, one student at a time. And so it starts with the teacher. They need to, especially the pandemic forced us to look at our education. And so if you are a teacher, you have to embrace technology. We're already going into a world of robotics, artificial intelligence, right? Virtual worlds, holograms, machine learning. Where will our students be if we're not teaching them technology?
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Lei, for answering my question. And I'm just happy na there is something like this exists. Kasi yeah, I really do agree that it starts with the teacher because before I was just a student who was inspired by my teachers as well. Yeah, so
Right, yes.
yeah, I agree with you on that. So, yeah, I think that's all for the questions. Before we dive into our announcement, is there anything else you would like to add, Miss Lei? Or can you plug your contact email where they can connect you or contact you if they have a question?
Sure, yeah. So they could just drop us an email at our website, abakadastudios.com, and then they could email us directly at inquiries at abakadastudios.com. If there's other questions, right? You could also join our Facebook, our LinkedIn, and Instagram. Our Facebook.com is Abakada Learning, / Abakada Learning, and we'll be glad to answer your questions. Just drop us just PM us, right, and leave us a message, and we'll gladly assist you in any way we can.
Okay, thank you, Miss Lei, for sharing those social media accounts that you have. So, guys, take the opportunity to contact them and connect with this Lei if you have any questions that we haven't answered yet. So, yeah, and also I would like to say thank you, everyone. To those who attended this session, and to you, Miss Lei, for answering our participants' question, and of course, for that very insightful presentation. And let's dive into our announcements. So, for our announcements, we have an upcoming Stock League X and Rise Tech session, the Internet of Things and Web Development on August 31. That would be on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Also, we do have Stack League Novice Edition for Career Shifters on September 20, Tuesday, and for the women, that would be on September 27, Tuesday, both at 6 p.m. So there are plenty of opportunities for you to learn here in Stack League. Go to fb.com/stackleague/events for the registration details and get the latest update. To help the Stack League team improve the session for you, answer this question form bit.ly/Stack League sessions feedback, or you can scan the QR code flashed on your screen. Also, Stack League Ambassador for the month of August is still accepting entries. To earn your ambassador points, you can either refer to friends and family or submit your blog sharing your league experience, or you can do both. Visit bit.ly/Stack League Ambassador 2022 for more information. Also, make sure to earn league points to unlock the challenger levels and receive the prizes. For the Stack League playoffs this August, that would be on August 27th, this Saturday at 10 a.m. Top 2 winner will receive 3,000 cash prize, and top 1 winner will receive 5,000 pesos cash prize. So that's all for the announcements. On behalf of the Stock League team, I would like to say thank you to everybody for joining the Stock League X Abakada Studio Career Session, Ideating the Digital Classroom using Gamification. If you don't have StackLeague account yet, make sure to sign up now at stackleague.com, and of course, invite your friends and family who you think should be part of the league. See you guys at the next StackLeague event. This has been your host, KZ. Good night, everyone. Bye.